Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we just had Saturday Night Main Event yesterday. And honestly, without spoiling the review too much, this was a breath of fresh air for like pretty much the whole WWE product, not just Saturday Night Main Event. There was obviously some issues here and there, some things that they could have definitely tightened up, but like this is a start on the right direction, knowing that we're on the road to WrestleMania. So let's start off. So Cody and Jacob Thought 2 started off the show. Before Cody could even get off his ring gear, he gets attacked by Jacob. They never get the match to start, and they brawl. A lot of people were on the fence originally with this because they were like, well, they didn't get the match, but come on, let everybody and their mother could be honest about this, that this match was going to be a DQ match. There was no way that they were going to have either one of these men take the L here. Like, they obviously cannot downsize what Cody has brought to the product and all that type of stuff. So him taking back-to-back L's like that could basically bury him. And Jacob Fatu coming back from that huge break, him just kind of getting beaten clean by Cody wouldn't have worked. And unless they're going to turn Cody heel, which I don't believe that's all even on their mind right now, there was nothing there. So it had to be some type of DQ thing. But I do like the angle that they chose here. The brawl worked really well. Kind of had a lot of different interesting things with it. Now, was the brawl good? It was okay. I'm really gonna say it was okay. I don't. I think there was a lot of like mess ups and slip ups, especially on Jacob Fatu's side. Like the moonsault, the outside was a little sloppy. Again, he's coming right back. I'm not going to be completely upset with it. There was a lot of guys, a lot of different things going on. I did kind of think it was stupid that Drew McIntyre beat both of them up at the end. Mainly because it wasn't really needed there. That could have been something that if they were going to do a DQ finish somewhere else, that would have been what you would have done, because then it would have led to them circling back to Drew. But like, we already have a fatal four-way, number one contendership for Drew. He doesn't need all that extra story because we already know how the WWE does. If you have too many people like chirping towards that main event, it ends up being completely a slop, and then nothing actually ends up working. So I'm going to say that possibly that part would have been cut off, but overall, I put it in a solid B. I liked it because I liked that this was a better call than just having a match where the DQ happened and there would have been no point to it. Because at least with not even starting it, we don't have to worry about any of that. Because I don't know, I get kind of tired when they always run the DQ aspect to this. There's just so much other stuff that they can do, like this, like other stuff. I mean, like I said, I would have even preferred Drew to go out there and beat their ass, both of them, and get that DQ if they were, instead of just having it be like somebody had a chair or some other stupid thing that happened. But this was the perfect way of doing it. It just was delivered in a like a B thing, which honestly, Saturday Night Main Event, I've came to the point, if you get a B or above in Saturday Night Main Event, that's good, because they tend to just not really do that type of stuff on these events. They end up like having these matches. This one I feel like was probably the most just solid idea for a card, because you had a hot rivalry, like, or brand new rivalry of Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu. That's probably going to spill into the Royal Rumble of them having some type of face off in the match, maybe one eliminating the other. Then you got the whole like, the next match we talk about, the tag team champs. We've been them kind of feuding with all the other tag teams, which is great. AJ Styles and Nakamura, obviously they weren't feuding at the time, but they're lifetime rivals that everybody wants to see this match. And then the Fatal 4-Way, you don't really have to have a lot of story in it because they're literally going for a giant prize, and it works out perfectly. This is the way to do it. Like, I've said it before, like having title matches, like the whole entire card full of title matches, does not really work on Saturday Main Event because it's rarely ever changed unless it's like a mid-card title or a tag team title. So these are the things to do. Just have them further a feud. This is like a TV special where like you get a little extra stuff and a little extra more time with the less of the fluff in between, and it ends up being okay. But we'll get to the tag match. I kind of had a little bit of a tangent there. The women's tag match, obviously, Io and Rhea versus Liv and Roxanne. I kind of thought this was an interesting choice to choose this here. I really would have like wanted this down the line, and obviously they're probably going to run it back at some point. I was also very surprised that Liv took the pin here. I think overall, match had everything. It checked all the boxes of just being a solid match. I wouldn't say they went above and beyond, because I think they could have really had that extra gear if they would have gave them a little bit extra time. I feel like this is definitely one of those matches. Sometimes it's not always a thing to say, but a tornado tag would work perfectly for this, because there was so much time where it was just going to be one-on-one stuff, and people were just kind of lying around, so they didn't get that stuff. We got a high octane, like these these women are like literally top 10 women like on WWE. All four of them are in there. So like if that's the thing, you want to give them that time. Like they all are great. And I know people probably disagree with that statement, but I do believe that if you checked out on Roxanne Perez or Liv or like these are the future, past, present, whatever you want to say. This is the type of thing you want to look at, and man, they did great. I'm gonna put it also, like I said, in B. Like I said, it was everything that they did. They just didn't have enough time to kick it into that gear to get to the A and C or A and S tier. I personally liked it. If I'm just rooting on it myself, I probably would put it in A just on my own personal opinion because I enjoyed it. I just could see that, like, hey, that extra 1 or 2 minutes really could have bumped into it. A little less selling on like being dead, But there were some really good strikes and very iconic spots in this to really justify it being in that A category. So I'm putting it in the B just to really solidify that like that's where it should be. Next up, we had AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. This one's hard for me to rate because like I've gone back and forth even just thinking about it by talking to people about this. I really don't know where I would justify putting this match in because I honestly easily it's A or above. There is no other talk about it. Like that's just how it goes. Now, when we talk about an S tier match, there's a lot that goes into it, at least for me, like if it's like, structurally good, entertaining, I believe it fits all of those categories. Now, I do believe that like when you have this Japanese strong style type, it does suffer at least on a WWE card if it doesn't go first or last to me. Mainly first, I think it's the better spot because it does have like a slow, methodical look to it. Because like when you go from like when the women go out there and then even to the fatal four way, it does look out of place, but it still is good. It's just like if you're playing like if you watch a Japanese card, if you watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, and this match is at the end, beginning, where in the middle, wherever you want to say it, it's gonna be a 5-star match. Like that's the thing. Like it fits in that card perfectly to do it. When it's on a WWE product, it almost seems like it just is out of place because it's like a lot of people in the comments were like, well, it's just not my thing. Well, I get that, but like you've got to still also justify it. Like you can't just make it less than because of that. This obviously is a great rivalry. It was great to see this happen because there's a very good possibility that next Saturday is AJ Styles' last match. I honestly don't know. I felt like there's a lot of people that have said that believe that. A lot of people think, oh no, it's not going to be that way. I honestly, I think it might be. I really do. I don't know if he'll like retire from WWE content and then go to like TNA for a bit to finish off his fame, or he's just done and done. I feel like there's still some left in the tank. He's obviously putting in some good matches, but if this is his second to last match, this was an absolute masterpiece to have on there. So I'm putting it up in S tier. Like I said, I can understand if somebody wants to put it in A because it's like not their necessarily their style of what they like to watch, but you can't like look at this match and rate it any lower. Then we get to the final match, the Fatal 4-Way between Sami Zayn, Damian Priest, Randy Orton, and Trick Williams. Solid main event. Again, like they gave them a pretty good allotted time. I think overall this card was very paced with timing. Like I said, the women could have definitely needed more, but they still got a solid 13, which if you've seen a lot of the Saturday night main events especially, they normally give them the least amount of time. No clue why. Because honestly, Io and Rhea is probably one of the hottest tag teams of all time, especially on the women's side of things. And the way that they need to be booked and shown is definitely in a higher thing. Like being the second one on the match probably wouldn't have been the greatest. I honestly either would have had them second to last or as the main event. It was a championship match, so it did deserve to be in that spot, even though it's a number one contenders thing. If you would have put this match second to last, I think, and gave the women an extra 5 minutes, I think all of this would have made the card progressively probably the best PLE the last like 6 months. I'm trying to think off the top of my head when's the last one that I absolutely enjoyed if this would have beat it out. But for the most part, everything that I can think of, this has definitely been better. But we go back to the match. I think it was a pretty solid match. Everybody kind of got a little bit of time to shine. I think mainly Honestly, the only thing I really don't remember is much of what Damian Priest did. I maybe just am not remembering it, but I guess obviously it's not been too memorable if you don't remember the next day. It's only been less than 24 hours since it happened, but I still think the match was pretty solid. I think it was the right call having Sami Zayn win here. You want somebody who's obviously competent enough to have a good match with Drew McIntyre at Royal Rumble. Plus, obviously, he's a fan favorite that everybody wants him to win. So him against Drew and inevitably Drew retaining would bring more heat to Drew and bring more legitimacy to his title. So Sammy is the person to put there because everybody really wanted Randy, but Randy honestly should be able to beat Drew McIntyre. And I think that also allows Randy to possibly be in the running for the Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber here to possibly go after Drew in that way. And that's way more fitting for Randy Orton to take the title off of Drew at WrestleMania if they were going to do that than at a random Royal Rumble. Damian Priest, obviously, they've been using in that mid card main event scene all the time, so he's just a good guy to put in this. And then Trick Williams is just an amazing opportunity to be in this type of match. I didn't think he would win, but even just being in this match is a great thing to have for him. I think everybody did good. It was a good, solid main event. I'd also put it in B, and I'd probably put the show as an A. I know I have most of the matches in B, but everything that I have in B, it's just because there are small little tweaks that they could have done better. I don't think any of the matches were bad, so that's what I really come down to it by putting it into an A show. The Shinsuke Nakamura match and AJ Styles was just so phenomenal that it really did rise up that grade overall too. Because like it's going to be one of those iconic PLEs to watch if you want, just because of that match. Everything else on it, like I said, was good and deserved to be on the card. I think this is how you build a Saturday Night Main Event if you're going to do these, where you have some pretty hot storylines or number one contendership matches on there and kind of save it like that. Because I think honestly, if you really was going to make a perfect card, I think they could have definitely, with the Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes match, if they didn't want that match in particular, they could have moved that to SmackDown and brought the Raw Tag Team Contenders match to here. I think that could have been something that really was shown off if you just let the men go out there and do stuff for 15 minutes. I know that's probably what Raw is going to be mainly anchored by on Monday, so I can see why they didn't do that, but that's the type of stuff I think should go to the Saturday Night Main Event. Just like a bunch of who's the number one contender for this title, who's the number one contender for that, and then every once in a while have title defenses like this, because this is perfect for Rhea and Io, because then they face Julia and James on SmackDown. So like there's like multiple times you're gonna see them all over the card going into Royal Rumble. That's gonna be a great thing to do. So I think they're cooking right now. Like it's been a little rough. I think like there was a lot of, last at the end of last year they kind of ran out of steam, and now that we're on that road to WrestleMania, I think it really is going to look pretty nice here. Obviously, we got the Royal Rumble next weekend, and we got a lot of stuff in between to talk about. We'll have a couple videos and stuff like that, and if you guys are enjoying it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me how you guys enjoyed this, and maybe put some Royal Rumble predictions in the bottom, and I might talk about them on the next video that I do about that. So, till next time, this has been Japan. Bye, guys.